Good Saturday afternoon, Chameleon Academy. Welcome to our place on the internet where we can come and be complete chameleon nerds. Yes, that's why this is a special little corner of the internet. Hello, let's see, Mike, Ben, Steve, Kanoa. Oh, by the way, if you're watching the replay of this is actually a live event that happens every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific time. And you're welcome to come and be part of the live studio audience. We hang out, we talk chameleons, and we just have fun together. So, hey, everybody. All right. Well, let's go ahead. You've all seen the thumbnail. It is Squishy. It is the Squishmeister. And for those who don't know, Squishy is our, I guess it's not unofficial anymore. It's an official mascot because down in that cage right down there, Squishy just came out one day and was immortalized. And so this is, so we just enjoy having Squishy with us. Now, let's see. I actually just took a very recent picture of Squishy. Oh, my goodness. There it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the picture that I took of Squishy 1 minute ago. So you can see a absolutely up-to-date picture of the Squishmeister. Boom, there you go. There you go. Look, Squishy is growing up, and love those black bars. Those those who don't know Squishy is from a clutch of panther chameleon eggs. We believe that Squishy is an umbanja, but we need to grow up this clutch of eggs before we know for sure. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So, all right. Oh my goodness, we got James here. I got James news, everybody. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So we're going to take this down and bring our wonderful slideshow presentation up here. Well, we got something very special today that's different. Tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific, here, exactly right here on the YouTube channel, we are going to have a live tour of the chameleon breeding and research facility that Peter Netjas has put together in Vietnam. The reason why it's 10 p.m. Pacific is because that's noon in Vietnam, and that's when the chameleons are out. And so Peter's going to take us live, and we're going to walk through the facility. It's a large outdoor facility, so we'll be walking inside of large outdoor cages, 10 by 10 by 10 foot enclosures, parsons, chameleons. He's got about hundreds of chameleons there. So we're going to be able to go and see. You're going to be able to do it live and ask questions of Peter right then and there. And so this is, I know, it's 10 p.m. and on the East Coast, it's 1 a.m. Sunday morning. But what the heck? We go where the chameleons are. So that one, I'm inviting you all to join me tonight. Let's see. Yowza, he's growing fast. Talking about Squishy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Really excited about that. Okay. Publisher has been selected, everybody. I've got my books back and my author sample books back. And I've selected a publisher. And I've done some more changes, but I am right after this, we're done with this live show. I'm going to be loading up the files. And as soon as the publisher reviews the files, says 2 thumbs up, we can do it, they will give me a date. And then we'll get some pre-sales going. So, a gentleman that works for Peter contacted me last night looking for more chameleons. They're probably looking for you, James. They want another worker. They're just going to have you deliver the chameleons and not let you come home. Let's see. Oh, okay. Alamo has got a brevicorn, still looking for a place to dig. No interest in it yet. We're hoping for another batch of captive hatched brevicorn. Looking for it. Nick says we have a reptile expo tomorrow. Looks like I'm going to be up late tonight. Yeah, guys, I just warning you. It's a big facility. We're going to be walking between cages, huge cages, and Peter has a lot to say. So get comfortable. Drink some coffee for dinner. There's going to be a lot to share. Oh. All right. Also want to say that I do have some spots available. If you were on the list of people that I said, okay, I'll send you some information later, I will be sending you that information. For anybody who is interested in going to Madagascar in next January, please email me at the email address that's scrolling on the screen below, and I will send you more information. So we have a few spots left, and and then invite. I am getting back on the newsletter. This is a weekly thing that I fell behind because I was writing this book, and oh my goodness, everybody says it's real. Everybody says I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. Yeah, well, you know what? When you actually get into it, the first 10% is a lot of fun. The next 50% is work, and the rest of it is torture. So it's quite the thing to do. But I am back on my schedule. So it's a weekly newsletter where we have a topic, we talk about things, and I let you know what's going on. So just sign up at chameleonacademy.com. You can go and sign up for the newsletter. It's free. And so sign up for that. Next, our good old friend James Cross actually came into my area, and so Mr. Cross loves coffee, but pretty much has only had gas station coffee, which no knock on gas station coffee. It's good and it does the job. Well, I decided we needed to go on a coffee crawl and expose him to all the wonderful different coffee drinks that are out there. And you say 3 coffee drinks? That's not all the wonderful coffee drinks that are out there. Yeah, you know what? I had 4 planned. We had to stop and skip one of them because we were getting so buzzed. I do not recommend doing this. I won't do this again, but I'm glad I did it once in my life. Oh, yeah, James, you're here. How you feeling after this coffee crawl? Were you able to sleep? Yeah. Mikey Ben says, my niece wrote 2 books, said you never stop rewriting it, even after publishing. Oh, my goodness. I was supposed to send this to the publisher a week ago. Oh, oh, hey, Phantom. Hey, guys. I'm weird as my mom. Yeah, Lisa doesn't know how to change her screen name. And so I'm weird. You know, Phantom, she blames you for that screen name. Oh, boy. James says, yeah, I really got wired. Okay. All right. Now we can start the show. Wayne Abides is finally here. Woo! Boy, Wayne Abides, you're coming earlier and earlier every show. Nice. Okay. Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about your cage setup, Lisa. So, yes, this is a good one to come to. Let's see, but we need to, we have more going on. Oh, let's see. Give me a second here. I do want to say tomorrow, even, this is going to be a chameleon-filled weekend. Tomorrow, I just got in some feeder fuel from Reddy's Rainforest. And so tomorrow, when I do chameleon chore night, I'm going to be doing more roach cups. I may be doing some fruit fly cups too, but I'll do doing roach cups and roach and cricket feeder dishes. And so we're going to see if how they like this feeder fuel. It says feed to feeder insects, including crickets, roaches, superworms, grasshoppers, black soldier fly larvae, mealworms, And it lists a bunch of ingredients that says not for human consumption. Well, you got me all excited by all these ingredients, and now you're saying I can't have any? What the heck? All right. Well, you know what? It is what it is, but we're going to be trying that. We're going to be trying that tomorrow and I'll let you know how the bugs like it. So, let's see. All right, we need to take a look at the what's going on in the community. And James 3 Vinopal is introducing us to Reggie. This is his new Panther Chameleon. And everybody, we're all talking about whether James should be promoted to James 2 because the second James doesn't come around anymore. And I actually forget who that second James was. So we've got James 1 is James Cross, and then James 3. But you know what? I think he's kind of, look at that signature. I think he's owned it. I don't think we can give 3 to anybody else now. So I think, James, I think you get 3. You get 3. That is your official number. Stephanie says feeder fuel is the best. All right. Hey, good enough for me. We're going to try it. Sure, it's more of a guideline there. He's talking about the not for human consumption. So I'm gonna spread it on my my ice cream and see how it goes. Oh. So, all right. Yeah, it says James says I'm down for the 3. Makes for a good story. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. You know what? When we start to own it and becomes part of us. Let's see. And we need to congratulate Nick Uns from Unsarium. These are some newly hatched Furcifer Peteri. This is, I should have an adult picture. I forgot to put an adult picture in here. This is the ones that, the small green ones with the nostril process on the males. I am so excited to see these coming and becoming more and more people are coming up and working with these. It's like the little dark horse species that I would have never guessed that would be what people would start working with, but a number of people have, and it's a wonderful species. So I love it. Thing is, with all these species of Madagascar, there's so many great species, but there aren't enough of us breeders to do them all. So we have to pick and choose. And it oftentimes it's not because one is better than the other. It's because we just have to choose one. I've chosen the Shamrock Chameleon. Nick is working with the Peteri. I don't, what is that? Is a leaf? I'm not sure what the common name is, but it's just what you pick. And Steve Hefner is working with Brevicorn, so at least we're getting this smattering of them. So. And there's another, you want to see how small they really are when they hatch. It's like these little things. Oh boy. And you can imagine why they're a little skittish. When people first start working with baby chameleons, they're thinking, oh, they're so skittish. I want one that's tame. No, as a baby, they are, I call them nature's candy. Everything eats them. And so they're supposed to be skittish. Wait until they grow up. Get some heft to them. And I remember my Clancy, although all of you who have been here for a while, you know about Clancy, my veiled chameleon. As a baby, anytime I'd come near his cage, he would just run and hide. He didn't want to have anything to do with me. He was scared. And I remember the day that he didn't run and hide. He was on his branch and I came up to him. I opened his cage door, and instead of running and hiding, he stood his ground. He looked me in the eye. He puffed himself up, and I knew, okay, he is done running, and he has not run from me since. He has sent me running. So they grow just like kids, just like us, adolescents to being adults. Oh, Eliza Ann is here. We need to bring. Okay, Eliza Ann, there's your picture of Squishy. Your Eliza Ann was responsible for the name Squishy. Inadvertently, it kind of happened, but she's still the one. So we make sure that she gets to see pictures of Squishy whenever she joins. Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. Ray's Rainforest is actually here. Feeder fuel smells amazing and wanted to make sure it's fed to the feeders, not the. Oh. So you've been you've been paid by the chameleons. I see what's going on. What the heck? Hey, CNC Tortoises, very good to see you here. Oh, yes.
Take the dogs for walking. Hello,
Oh,
everybody.
okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh no, here you gotta say hello to everybody.
Hey.
That's
Happy Saturday.
All right, wonderful.
All right, see you
soon. All right. Okay. Nick says, anytime I spray the enclosure, the baby Petri instantly drops to the ground. They seem to do this for the first week or two. Yeah, we got guys. You gotta give the baby chameleons. You got to give them a waiver. They're gonna be just scared of everything because they're so small. I mean, I'd be scared of everything if I was that small. So, all right, let's see what else do we got here? Oh, Wild Horses. Janet Gardner brought home 5 little veiled chameleon babies. Oh my goodness, those are the cutest thing in the world. So, oh, wait a minute. Susan just bred veiled for the first time this week. Can't wait to see babies. You're right. And you know what, everybody? Susan is preparing for the babies, has decided she only wants 6. That's how many. And I'm not sure what she's doing with all the other eggs, but she has done it right. She's planned for it. She knows what she is going to be set up for, and she's going to take care of the ones she can keep in absolute luxury. And so that is wonderful. That is wonderful. So that's Janet with her little babies, and so we're going to keep watch over that as to how that's going. And you notice in the picture on the left there, she's using these butterfly cages, and so those are, I think, as far as I can tell, if you want to put together a individual raising your baby chameleons individually, which please do, then these butterfly cages are perfect. It's like $10 or $12 on Amazon. And it's like, if you don't plan on doing it again, then you don't have to invest in cages that last for 10 years. Like my nursery cage system, I still have cages. These cages are 13 years old and they're still in use every day. And so those were meant for breeders who are serious long-term. If you just have a clutch, or your Jackson's chameleon just gave you babies, you don't want to spend all that money. These little butterfly cages, I mean, it's a challenge to set them up. Okay, they got to hang the lights over them and get the hydration just right. But, you're doing it once. You're doing it once. You can figure that out. So I welcomed a vampire shrimp into my life today. All right. Two Turtle Tom. We need a picture. I need to see a vampire shrimp. I think I've heard of a vampire crab. I haven't heard of a vampire shrimp. So I need a picture, and I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to, you know what? Going to Google like right now would be like spoilers. It's like going to the supermarket for fish. You want to go catch it your own. Actually, I don't fish, but like comic books. People say, I want a certain issue. And they say, why don't you just get it on the internet? Well, that's no fun. You gotta go to comic book shop. You gotta hunt for it. And that's when finding it and actually getting it means something. And so I'm not going to look up vampire shrimp on Google. So you got to send me a picture. And I'm going to include that. I'll include it in next week's show, so everybody knows what a vampire shrimp looks like. That sounds cool. Marcia Ann, that's harsh. Hey, Wild Horses is here. Yeah, we're excited to follow your adventures with your veiled chameleons, and they will grow fast. My Clancy went, oh, hey, we got to show you. I'm gonna go ahead and show just for the because I love my Clancy so much. Where, let's see. We'll go here, and just for those who haven't seen Clancy, sorry, I'll bring this down for a second. There we go. That is Clancy from egg hatching, growing up until 4 months old, and he's essentially in his adult coloration. That is how fast these guys veiled chameleons grow. So you are in for an adventure. Just, it's like a whirlwind. See, that's the thing. Panther chameleons can grow fast too, but it's like they don't explode like a veiled chameleon can. So yeah, it's just a different experience. So, and she says, yep, they're eating well. Excellent. Excellent. All right, let's go and take a look at Gizmo. We need to introduce you all to Gizmo. This is an Ambanja Panther chameleon owned by Lisa McGee, who is on the chat. She's I'm Weird, and her daughter is Phantom with 7 instead of A. So we've got the family here. Oh, wait a minute. We have sides being taken here. I love Squishy, but Clancy is my guy. Clancy is awesome. He is awesome. So Gizmo here is a beautiful Panther chameleon, and Lisa sent the cage in to get our opinion on it. So let's take a look at this enclosure. Obviously, it's a cabinet that's been repurposed for a chameleon enclosure, and it looks spacious enough. On my side, it's looking good. The inside, let me get this. Definitely has a lot of plants. I would say, and by the way, when I'm going to be pointing out things, that doesn't mean what you did is wrong. So everybody who's watching, I'm just going to give commentary, and these commentaries can be anything from, oh my goodness, you better change this right now, your chameleon's going to die, to, okay, you know what, I would have done it a little bit different, to here's some other options you can consider. When I do the analysis of this cage, I don't want to say just because I would have done it differently, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. Doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just me providing my input. And so if you send a cage in for me to analyze, I will tell you with, this is my opinion, this is what I do. And okay, wait a minute, this is a husbandry issue. So please just take everything I say in that context. So what I'd say plant-wise on this one is we generally like plants to have hiding value. So the chameleon can hide behind the plants and find that security. Now, is that a problem in this case? Especially veiled chameleons and panther chameleons, they can get pretty confident. They learn who you are. They become comfortable with you. And even if you provide a huge, big, bushy a place for them to hide, they may never use it, especially as adults, because they're essentially the masters of their domain. So when I say, generally speaking, I would say to everybody, have an area where your chameleon can hide and feel secure. That's because that's a good general husbandry for all cases. So is that important in this case? And that would just look at Gizmo's behavior. If Gizmo is standing up on the branches in the middle all the time, just looking at the world saying, hey, bring me a worm, you're fine. If Gizmo starts to feel threatened or is crawling around the bottom or wants to get out of his cage all the time or just isn't comfortable in there, then you can start thinking, well, what would happen if I just put this huge, big, bushy pothos right in the corner? they'd actually have the ability to get behind. And so you can just consider that when you look at the behavior in the future. So let's see. My daughter's name is Isla. Well, hello, Isla. Welcome. So now I love, if you see on the right-hand side, this is a tall curio, a tall cabinet. And with tall cabinets, one of the problems we have is getting light down to the bottom. And so Lisa has put in a light on the bottom for the plants to be fed. So that's a solution to the tall cage issue when it comes to plants, keeping plants alive. And I love the fact that she's got a prayer plant down there. I love the Marantas, and of course pothos. Those things are awesome. So got good plant selection in there. All right, let's take a look at the top of the cage and the hydration. So we've got the top of the cage. Now I see is that, I don't know. Did you put in I'm sorry if you put it in the description and I didn't check it. That actually looks like a T8. Is that a T8 10.0? I guess if it's T8 10.0 and if the basking branch is 6 inches down, it'll work. Well, one thing I don't see here is a daylight bulb. Like that looks like the UVB bulb, a linear UVB bulb. It looks, you've got your heat lamp, but do you have like an LED bar or 6500K fluorescence to light up the area? That's what I that would be my first question here. What do you have as far as, she said, yes, it is. Hey, look at that. I can actually, wow. I've been around UVB bulbs way too long. If I could just look at that and say, oh, that's a T8 10.0. Okay. But Lisa, do you have any lights specifically to light the area, give a full spectrum lighting? Okay. Why anybody sells T8 bulbs, I don't understand. Let's see if Zoom it has tons they need. Actually, Two Turtle Tom, we use like in the geckos, like for the Europlatus fantasticus geckos, we use the T8 5.0s, and we'll be very sad when those are gone because they have the right strength for the nocturnal Europlatus geckos. So yes, chameleon wise, we want something a little stronger. So she says no daylight. So that's what I would suggest is like one of those Arcadia Jungle Dawn. Oh, I'll just show you like this one. Can you see? Woo, like that one. You can see once you get that, like the cage will light up and your plants will really respond to that. They like those. Where should I put the daylight? Just put it right by the UVB light. So you can put it closer to the, just around along the middle, and it will light up the area. So you can do, yeah, I mean, let's see, you've got and you can just put it anywhere on the top of the cage. You can move it around just to see where it does great. I would suggest moving it towards the front of the cage. That cuts down the number of reflections, but also what that does is it lights the chameleon from your side. The problem is if you've got all the lights on the other side of the chameleon, say the chameleon's in the middle of the cage, you end up silhouetting the chameleon because all the light's shining at you. So put the lights up front, like 6500 or the daylight up by the front of the cage, and then you're going to be able to see the colors of Gizmo. Arcadia shade. Well, fine, Two Turtle Tom, but that's what we use T8s, and they're perfect for it. Don't upsell me. Getting a cut from Arcadia, is that it? Is Arcadia Jungle Dawn an effective plant grow light? Didn't see anything on the packaging that mentioned plant. Yes, it's an incredibly effective grow light. I have used the Arcadia Jungle Dawns to get passion flowers to bloom indoors. It's wonderful. And you can get the nepenthes, you can get the red coming out in the leaves. It's I have put multiple Jungle Dawns on my large cages just so I could get that plant growth. So I mean these Jungle Dawns are so good that it's really brought us into another stage of our cage development, because we can have plants that normally require daylight that we couldn't raise before. So they are very effective. Love them. I found some great white lights that I'm using on the babies. They are doing great with the plants. The hibiscus are blooming and growing. Yeah, when you can grow hibiscus indoors, then we've come to a different stage in lighting. So many times in the past, we've had people have 3 different hibiscus plants. They rotate, put it in the cage for a while, and then when it starts to get sickly, put it outside to bring it back up to health. Well, more light indoors, and we don't have to do that. And let's see. And Name says, hey. All right, everybody say hi to Name. Currently use a smaller grow light in my double deep dome. Maybe later I can try Jungle Dawn. Jungle Dawn does a really good job. And Thrive Ecosystems is another. It's a like a hobby. It's a smaller business, and their lights do really well too. Really well. So, all right. So we have that's what I'd say on the lighting. If we go over to the right hand side, we see the setup for the hydration, where we got the fogger and the mister, and we've got a dripper in there too. So you got all 3 of those. And you just be the judge as to what kind of coverage you're getting there, and if you need other misters. But I mean, you've got the good stuff there. The mister produces dew on the leaves for the chameleon to drink. The fogger is there for chameleon to breathe, and the dripper is there in case you need something to like an afternoon touch up. So yeah, when you got all 3 of those, they really work well together. So I think they're pretty good. Yeah, so that would be my. Do you have any specific questions, Lisa and Isla, on this? It looks like a good cage. I think the Jungle Dawn, or a bright white light, is my number 1 suggestion. And the other one is just watch his behavior. And if he seems to need something to hide behind or isn't comfortable, consider putting in a bigger plant. If he's just fine, then you don't have to worry about it. But chameleons are just like humans, like any animals. They always grow, and they change as they grow. What doesn't bother them now may bother them in the future, and then it may not bother them again. And so we're always watching them, and it's our job to adjust to whatever they're going through. And you may find, all of a sudden when you're starting to wear yellow shirts, and they flare up and they don't like it. So, I mean, okay, I guess yellow shirts don't get to be used in the chameleon room. So we are here to figure them out. Oh, Two Turtle Tom says, I'm glad to know T8 still work for you, Bill. Let me know if you need more, because they tend to dominate the shelf. Are you serious? They still sell T8s in Ohio? Yeah, we can't find them at all in California. I mean, I don't want T8s. I only use the UVB T8s, but now we've got these LEDs in the shape of fluorescent tubes, so we can just put them in for the 6500K. So that works. That's been nice. So we don't have to see. The thing is, folks, breeders are going to be the last ones to switch technologies because we have so much infrastructure built up around whatever we built it up around. And to switch out is a huge expense. And if we've got the entire system balanced, because all of our husbandry, nothing is individual. It's all connected. The lights and the hydration and everything. And once you figure out something that works, you don't want to go and change it all. And this is one I'd really like for us in the community to embrace, that there's a difference between breeder care and keeper care. A breeder can use different methods than if I'm saying this is the best husbandry. That's for you as a keeper who is sitting there and really taking care of one chameleon. That doesn't mean that every breeder has to change their infrastructure because I like T5s and I say get a T5. That doesn't mean every breeder who's been using T8s has to change. A breeder is finely tuned to their facility and they've made it work. They figured out the balance with everything. And I mean, don't take this wrong. I love it when breeders update and all that kind of stuff, but we need to allow the breeders to be the last ones to update because they figured out the balance. And I the one thing I would say breeders need to change is individual raising, because that's not a nice to have. That is treating the chameleons as sentient beings and saying, okay, this is best chameleon husbandry. It's not nice. It's not being elitist. That's a serious thing for chameleon health, emotional, physical health. The lights, you balance the lights with the supplementation and then the hydration comes in there. That's all a balance. And one being stronger, one can be weaker, and we move all these pieces around. All of us have a favorite combination of those elements. And so I will share with you my favorite combination. Other people will share with you their favorite combination. It works. It works for them. It works for me. I don't want to waste time deciding which of these things that works better. It's the only thing I do is figure out which of these things that works better for me to explain it to masses of people and them not to mess something up and say, well, Bill said so. That's what I got to figure out. Hey, irresistible pythons. Everybody say hello to Nikki. From seeing his pictures, does he look good and healthy? Yes, he does. Play tree. She also included a picture of a free range type thing, and Lisa, it's really up to what he thinks of it. If he's hanging out there, that's fine. If he wants to get down and run around, then he's not happy with it. So his play tree, it's just really up to his behavior, and his behavior will tell you everything you need to know. And if he's happy hanging out there, let him hang out there. That works. Let's see. You have all the plants turned so they will fill out more towards the front and cover more branch. Okay. Yeah, and that's great, especially when you bring in that we bring in these jungle dawns and we do the misting and the fogging, plants explode. And so our cage, and you get to the point where you have to start trimming the plants. But he does have 3 good hiding spots. He never goes, okay, perfect. Then you got it. And everybody just remember, I see pictures, and so I don't always see everything. As long as you understand the feeling of, or the meaning behind what I say, and you look at your kids and go, oh, wait a minute, there is places, then that's fine. That's fine. Oh, here, oh my goodness. Oh, that just is wonderful to hear. Individuation is the only way to go. It's upfront cost, but worth it for these amazing animals. And that is so true. That is the biggest problem with individual raising it's a huge upfront cost, and not only an upfront cost in infrastructure, but it just messes up an entire process. If somebody built an entire breeding facility on group raising, I mean, when you're doing breeding of chameleons, Reddy's, Lee and Amanda, you know this, but everybody else, when you're setting up a breeding facility, you've got a certain amount of space. You have your babies over here, you've got your grow outs here, and your adult breeders over here, and everybody's got their flow figured out. To change one from group raising to individual raising, it's like you're starting over almost. So that is so when you actually have a breeder who says, I'm going to make that switch, that is a huge thing. It's not a simple thing to make that switch. And so anybody who does that has my respect. It's a lot easier to sit back and say, no, I'm going to push back on husbandry of what's best for them because it's too expensive for me to do. That's the easiest thing to do. And okay, where I'm spiraling into a tangent here, but I want to say, guys, let's not waste our time beating on people. If you've got people who are group raising, don't worry about telling people what they're doing wrong. What we need to do is, if you are buying chameleon, buy it from somebody who is individually raising and tell them why they're doing that. Let's have change be positive. There's two ways to do change. You can all stand up and start preaching and start bashing the people who are not doing it, or you can stand up and be an inspiration and saying, anybody who's starting now, let's go forward and do this. When you demonstrate the benefit of something, people will follow when they see that benefit. And if you can't demonstrate the benefit of something, then maybe it's not as big as you think. But there's a benefit to individual raising. And so all we have to do is do it, and the community will shift without having all of that negative beating on people because they're doing it differently. So I just want to make it clear when I start in on things like this. I feel very strongly about this. I also feel very strongly about not creating more stress in the community and more conflict in the community than is necessary. And I know change is never without conflict. It's never without hurt feelings. It's never easy. But I'm suggesting, imploring, spend your energy building something new instead of tearing down what's there. If what you're building is worth it, then the community will naturally ease and transition into it. So let's take care of each other as much as we can. I know we can't. I know there's no way we can all be friends and have a group hug, but we can be as positive as possible. Let's just try to go in that direction. Hey, Konstantinos from Greece, welcome. Very good to have you here. James loves the density of leaves and a good pothos. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to start showing you. I've got some like these drainage trays that James is building. I should have those up within early next week. I know I'm late on that, but those will give us like a very easy soil floor, and I am definitely going to be planting pothos in the soil floor, and you're going to see what kind of a monster pothos actually is when it's not in a pot. So appreciative of you, Bill. Thank you very much. Just like my kids, his well-being is my well-being. Adding the daylight. I have one of the full spectrum bars right now. Could I put that in? Yeah, that's it. Yes, full spectrum bars. That's perfect. Just make sure it's white light and not like some of these LED bars are for plants, and so they have like a purplish, pinkish tinge and stuff. So we want it to be just the white light, bright light. Our full spectrum falls short of the chameleon's full spectrum, but it's as close as we can. Educate with love. I love it. Yes, educate as an example. Be the example and actually show it. We are effective. If we want to move something forward, we need to show that it can happen. And like with individual raising, that's something that I've been talking about for 10, 13 years now. It never really took hold until Jonathan Hill started iPardalis and said, I'm proud that I am individually raising. That is what I'm going to be doing. Once he put that flag in the ground and he says, I'm going to show it. Me saying it all along, everybody's going, yeah, nice, Bill. That's very idealistic. But as soon as he actually did it and showed people how it could work, that's when the industry, the community really turned. And so we've got, if we want to make the change, it is our responsibility to show how that change can work in the real world. It's not enough to say this is a great idea, now you do it. We need to show it. And that's what this small batch breeding. That's why we in the chameleon community are the ones doing the small batch breeding. If we don't show that it's possible, if we don't show that it's something that can be done in the real world, then it's just sitting around a campfire with beers. It's not, it's a great idea. You know, the idea person, wow, we should do this. No, it's in the execution and can it actually work in the real world? So that's why we are spending years putting together this whole small batch breeding thing that I've been talking about for a couple of years. I've started with a bunch of shamrock chameleons. We're going to work with that. This book right here, it's a great book about raising baby chameleons. When you get to the back page, I tell you all about how to raise baby chameleons and all that. When you get to the back page, anybody who goes all the way through the book and gets to the back page, you're going to see my real motivation for making this book. It's to create people who can raise baby chameleons and be part of this small batch breeding community to where we can support breeders. So the breeders who don't have to raise the babies themselves. Anybody who's done this breeding, you know, taking care of the adults and taking care of babies, those are two different jobs. And they're almost full-time jobs. The babies are definitely a full-time job. And so this is my idealistic approach, my idea. And until I actually prove that it can be done, it's just an idea. So that's what we're doing. That's why I love having all of you here with me and being supportive. It's because we're going to be proving out a very cool idea. I need more people to do that. So yeah, it's going to be a while. It won't be long before I start looking for people who are willing to put together a rack like I've got behind me for 6 babies and specialize in learning how to raise the food for babies and specialize in taking care of babies. So, I mean, it's a totally different food raising thing. And it's not that you have to buy, I mean, these are somewhat expensive cages. You don't have to buy expensive cages. It can be cheap cages. You just have to be dedicated to doing it excellently with enrichment and focusing on just 6 little babies. And if we have a number of people who just focus on 6 little babies, we can raise baby chameleons in the most enriched way. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. I'll hug you and join the movement. All right. Excellent. Oh, my pothos leaves in bio are bigger than my 2 hands. Yeah. Once you learn what a monster pothos is, you say, wait a minute, you looked so small and cute in this pot. What the heck happened? I've got some in a pot that trailed down nice and cute, but as soon as it hit the soil at the bottom, it rooted itself in the soil at the bottom, and I had these monster leaves coming up. So yeah, we have a whole new discovery ahead of us when we start looking at pothos. Yeah. It says it does have little blue and red lights on it. It's a full spectrum aquarium plant. I've seen those, and I don't like them that much. The where you can actually see red and blue there, and so go ahead and put it up there now while you look for like a jungle dawn. Jungle dawns are really good. Like I said, the two lights I know about, the Jungle Dawn and Thrive Ecosystems. Those two do a really good job. Let's see. Let me make sure. So, John definitely was a great inspiration for us to make. Jonathan Hill is not is a what do I use? He breaks the mold. He is a breeder that he put his conviction ahead of what normal people would say is this is a great business idea. He said, my business idea is to do it right and show people it can be done right. And so he's somebody in the community that really breaks the mold. When I start complaining about breeders holding us back because they don't want to move forward and they want to justify their old ways instead of embracing new things, and I always have to have an asterisk. Well, except for like Jonathan Hill and people like him. So he is the asterisk breeder, and the thing is, since he's shown it can be happening, it's happening all over, and other breeders are doing it. And so it's like that just was the catalyst that started a huge forward movement. So I have huge respect for his convictions of doing it right. He's made a huge difference. Oh yeah, Tyler France, Jonathan Hill have a parasite presentation at an upcoming expo. They sure do up there. That's really cool. I will do pre-orders, and you can get a signed copy, and you can also request for it to be signed by Squishy. I have had so many people request that Squishy, our mascot, signs the book, that I will be offering signatures of Squishy. I'm going to take a picture of his paws and get it made into a stamp. So the community has spoken. Oh, okay. I'll see ya. Let's see. I've had my first chameleon for about 4 months now. I just want to say thank you. You have helped a lot, along with Neptune the chameleon. Tapped into some good information. Jason says, so looking forward to your book. I will actually read it. It will probably be the first book I probably finished since Mice and Men in the 3rd grade. And as funny as that sounds, you'll notice in this book there are a lot of pictures. I cannot walls of text. I won't say they intimidate me, but I look at that and I say, oh my goodness, this is going to be a lot of work. So you guys will notice there's a lot of pictures, and all the text is surrounded by pictures. So this is finally a book that I would read too. Cam says, by the way, in the UK, you're helping people all over. Oh, wonderful. We've got people from the UK. I've got Flicks in the UK. We got Flick. Oh, there's Flick. Yeah, Flicks in UK. Cam 123 UK. We've got Konstantinos from Greece. And we just need Kazukuza from Japan to show up. Can we go back to Gizmo's picture? Well, of course we can go back to Gizmo's picture. Gizmo, although we have one more cage by Tony that we need to take a look at. So says okay, definitely look into a jungle dawn. That's right. Reddy's just did a huge upgrade of lighting. Yeah. So yeah, Lee and Amanda know what it's like to upgrade a facility. Raised Rainforest is another asterisk breeder, as Bill put it. They put so much love into the babies, and it shows. That is good to hear. When the community notices, that's when we're making a difference. When the community says, hey, you know what? Those breeders are different in these ways enough that I am going to give my business to that breeder. That's when we're starting to make a difference. Because if a breeder decides, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to give my babies a better life, if none of the community falls in to support that, then that breeder is just going to be a flick of light, and every breeder that comes after them is just going to go back to the old ways. That's just the way it works. The community, the breeders can have a great idea and say, I'm convicted, I'm going to do this, but it's not until the community follows and supports them that it becomes a permanent change. So us in the community, we are the ones that need to support breeders when they put their foot out, when they put their money out, when they risk. It's a huge risk to do this kind of stuff. It's a huge risk to say, I'm going to individually breed, because when you do that, your production goes down. And that's really scary when you're saying, okay, this has got to pay for itself, and it's got to be a real business. When we get, those of you who have started a business, you know, it's got to be a real business. You've got great ideas, but the bank doesn't take great ideas to pay the mortgage and to pay the overhead. And so you have that struggle as to, this is how I know I want to do it. This is how I know it's best to do it, but it's more expensive to do this. So community, that's you out there. That's me right here. We need to support the breeders who actually step out and risk doing this, because make no mistake, when you put expenditure, you put money into doing an upgrade like this, that money isn't free. That money pays the bills. And if you can't pay the bills, your business goes down. And so we need to support the people who are making the community a better place. Specifically, if you go and say, okay, I want the cheapest one out there, haha, I'm such a great consumer, you've missed it. That's a very short-term goal. When you say, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to find the people who are doing it right, and I'm going to let them know why I chose them, and I'm going to let the community know why. I'm going to brag about, hey, I got mine, and they were enriched as a baby. I'm really proud about it, and it was worth me paying $100 more for it. That is powerful, and that's how we in the community can really make a difference. So, hello, Patrick. Russell is here. Hey, Russell. How you doing? Even better. More pictures than reading. Yes. Got lots of pictures. That's the way I like it. Hey, Kenny. Oh, Kenny, it's Canada, huh? If you're in Canada, 100%. All right. Got to be a Nosy Fally boy. Oh, parasite free. Oh, yeah, that's the next one. Individual raising and then checking for parasites, because anybody who's taken the parasite course, you know, our captive hatched panthers are not immune for parasites if the breeder isn't looking for them. And yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. So, all right, we need to go on to the next cage here. Oh my gosh, it's one of I've talked too much. All right, let's go to that one last cage. Tony Sikanic sent this enclosure in and wants us to take a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and play a video file that I got here, and we can take a look. I know we are coming to the end of the show. You've got to go. I understand. Tonight, 10 p.m., we're going to be back here to do that tour of the Peter Nekas's facility in Vietnam. So, okay, let's take a look at this video. of this. That's right. All right, so he's got a fogger in back. That's actually a pretty cool way to do to have a fogger come into your cage. So Russell is planting fruit fly shopping this week. Hey, come to chore night tomorrow. Okay, there's the misters going off. Okay, so he's got the misters going off. He's got the fogger in the back. And this is all done on a Reptibreeze. So this was quite the project. This was a screen cage. So he's obviously he thought a lot about the keeping the ventilation. So he's got a lot of vents there. And okay, so there's the back vents and the temperature control. So okay. So my comments on that is nice and elaborate, and I love the plant life. I'm going to say we can go ahead and take a look. Look here. There's kind of the bottom, so it's planted all the way down. So two things. First of all, you've got some succulents at the bottom. Not sure that the light is going to go all the way down and give those succulents what they need, but that'll be something that you work through and deal with. The one thing I will say that really stuck out to me is all of the back that has all that the particle stuff where you I don't know how you did that, but like people put down silicone and then they sprinkle in this dust and the crumple. You got the crumple vines. The problem with that is that chameleons like to rub their eyes on things. And if they rub their eyes on the vines or the back, for whatever reason, I'm not sure they would, but all those little particles, it could get in their eyes when they rub their eyes. Will they rub it? I don't know. Just something to consider when you're doing something like this. I generally stay away from the old, put on the little coconut core or whatever on the background. If there's a possibility of little pieces of it coming off when a chameleon rubs it. Yes, it could come off when they zap it like an escaped cricket with their tongue. I don't know. The small pieces won't be a problem, but the larger pieces could be a problem. I see you got a feeder there on the front, and so it's not going to be. So if your crickets stay in there, it's not going to be a problem. But every now and then they get off. Other than that, it's a beautifully done cage. You've got, usually when people close in a cage like that, they turn it into a cave. And of course, chameleons need light, but it looks like you've taken care of that. You've got a light up there. And so, as long as the chameleon has the light coming down, you're going to be okay with that. So, so the crinkles, the plants, that money tree, the pachira in there is going to nicely grow up and really going to fill in. That's going to be beautiful. So other than that, just watch the crinkles. Obviously, you're probably not going to take it all down, but just watch out for that. I would say you could put in some more branches and thinner branches. They generally like branches where they can keep their hand totally around or halfway around. So you've got some pretty thick stuff in there. So maybe put in some thinner branches throughout. But other than that, those are the things that I can offer. And beyond that, it's just watching his behavior. What is it? What is he like? What is he comfortable with? And is there anything that is disturbing him? Because every chameleon is individual, and every time we put together a cage, we have an individual chameleon that has his individual opinions, and we've got to adjust for him because he's the expert. So, let's see. And notice you had a lot of ventilation. So I really like that you thought about the ventilation because, of course, you're going to close off all of that. And And the chameleons, they're just like everything else. They breathe in, they breathe out carbon dioxide. And if we don't get the air exchange to bring in new oxygen and get the carbon dioxide out, then it gets stuffy and hard to breathe. And so the ventilation is important. Even though we deal with hybrid cages, we need that air exchange. That's why the chimney effect is so important for us. And I really wish that we could put enough plants into our cages that they would do the air exchange and turn the carbon dioxide into the oxygen. But unfortunately, we just don't have the space in our cages to be able to recreate that part of the natural exchange. So there we go. Thank you very much, Tony, for sharing that. Lisa, thank you very much for sharing, and everybody who sent in their pictures of their chameleons. We do this, and for I think somebody asked, is this cage day? At the beginning of the month, we like to have cage review day. It's not set in stone, but once a month, have everybody just send in their cages, and whether you want me to evaluate, review the cage, whether you just want to show off the cage, just send it in. So, all right, I'm going to be taking a look at trying to catch up on the chat because I did a lot of talking. Sounds like Jason is putting together a nice facility there. Can't wait to see Peter's facility. What I've seen, it's impressive. We're going to just sit back and relax because, we've got the easy job. We're going to sit there. We're going to ask him questions. He's got to walk the entire facility, and this isn't like a building. This is like acres. So he's going to get a workout from our show. Jason's struggling with the UVB lights right now, trying to hold off as much as I can so I could possibly get the Exoterra if and when they release them here. Otherwise, I found Arcadia fixtures. Exoterra should be out by now. It's imminent. So, but definitely get those. I've gotten my Exoterras in, and I'm starting to work with them, and I'm going to do a video of an entire analysis of the cages. I just need to get this book out. I'm a week behind on everything because I took an extra week on this book. So I'll be evaluating the Exoterra bulbs. At least the one I have appears to be a little bit weaker than the Arcadia bulbs. It's not a bad thing. That just means that, number one, either that's just that one bulb, because sometimes a bulb can be different, or else maybe they do a different formulation, and so the UVB is a little bit weaker. All that means is maybe your UVB, instead of being 3 inches above the cage, it's 2 inches above the cage. So it's not a big deal. It just means we have to know what we're working with. Get a UVB meter. Believe me, it is a nightmare for me to sit here and try to figure out, all right, what's the distance that I recommend that's going to be the average between the highest level and then the lowest level at the end of the year. And so, please get a solar meter if you can. I'll be there assuming I'm awake at 1 a.m. Yes, you East Coast people are going to be really, you're going to need those little clothespins on your eyes. UK gets at 6 a.m. Okay. All right. Stephanie says, I fell off chore night, Bill, and I ran out of flies. I tell you, you don't come on Sunday night chore night, you're going to run out of flies. That's right. So everybody, and by the way, everybody, I do have Sunday chore night where I get together Sunday night, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's not an official show. It's just me working in the kitchen, and a lot of people come because it's fun. But the reason why I'm doing it is so I do it every week, because if you fall off the habit, you run out of fruit flies and you got this big gap, and nobody likes gaps of food for their babies. Yeah. So, all right. I'm getting through, catching up on the chat here. Yeah, I really like the way he did the fog. That was really cool. How long before month 7 should I start fruit fly cultures if I start with 1? How many cultures do I expect to make before that day? And I will have. Well, of course, that depends on how many how many eggs you have and how many eggs you are going to hatch. I overdo it. 4-5 cups every week. Now, if you have enough of the small crickets, I would wait until month 7, then just start making it. Now, I know it's really a pain to make fruit fly cultures and then the eggs don't hatch for another 2 months. That's why I got a dart frog. And you deal with it. I just hate not having enough food. Of course, it's not a panic situation because you can get pinhead crickets, 1-week-old crickets, depending upon the size of your babies, anywhere. It's just expensive, but that's part of what we do. Are bean beetles considered a treat bug? My 6-month-old female panther always goes for tiny bees. Oh, let her do it. Let her do it. I use them as a treat because they're harder for me to grow, and I don't have the right temperature range. It would be easy for me to do if I really wanted to, but I don't grow them as well in my setup, and so I use them as a treat. But they're small. If she likes them, give it to her. Just give it to her. But no, that's not going to have a whole lot of nutrition for a 6-month-old female panther. Tony says there is lots of branches behind the plants. It's hard to see them. Okay. Yeah, I don't see everything. And sometimes I don't remember even if I have seen them. So yeah, just take the comments for what they're worth. So 300 Exoterra slightly lower than the 12% tested with. Yeah, I found that I've been doing testing with the 200, and I found it slightly lower than the 6%. So that's starting to. Thank you very much. I was, you always want when you only have one data point. It's like, is it just one data point? So I've got more than I'm going to test, and I haven't started to test because I want to do it on a video and show people what it takes to test a UVB light. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, and just want people to see what that's like because, hey, I kind of do a vlog type thing and people love hanging out and seeing what goes on. So that's what we do here. Really want to help start a rental service for UVB meters, but I'm nervous due to some bad eggs in my Wanabetes. The bad eggs never stop. And so we just decide how important is it for us to do good, and are we willing to take 10% of people who are going to take advantage of us? Whenever you do something good, just assume that 10% of the people are going to take advantage of you, and decide, is doing good for 90% worth getting taken advantage by the 10%? And if so, you know what? Just go in saying, all right, some people, I'm giving $10 to this guy on the street. 10% of the people are going to go use it frivolously, and 10% of the people are actually career panhandlers, and 90% of the people are just looking for their next meal, and you just really helped them out. So is it worth it to help out the 90% knowing that 10% are taking you for a ride? That's for you to decide. And we all have to decide that in everything we do. It's not like there's no judgment there. We all have to assume that we are going to be taken advantage by 10% of the people and decide, is the 90% helping the 90% worth it? And if it is, go into it. The people that take advantage of you, I know it hurts and sometimes it's expensive, but we got to live our lives, and we got to do what we can to make the community as good of a place as possible. So thinking about trying out snails with the cams now that Peter mentioned it. Me too. I'll try anything at this point. Oh, that's right. All right, everybody. It is the end of the show. Well, it's 15 minutes past the end of the show. So I want to thank you so much for coming and being part of the show. Join me at 10 p.m. Pacific tonight. I know it's really late for some of you, 1 p.m. for the Eastern people. Ooh. But you know what? We go where the chameleons go. So thank you very much. I will be here tomorrow as well for Chameleon Chore Night. I know some people don't want to watch the replay of tonight. That's fine. But if you want to join me for Chore Night, 5 p.m. Pacific, tomorrow night, I got to make roach feeder dishes. And and I'll do I'm going to be using this that says not for human consumption. Once again, my feelings are hurt. But I'm a big boy. So everybody, I guess, you know what, saying goodbye is really hard to do. Squishy, what are we going to do? You know what? We're going to say goodbye, but we are going to love the fact that we're going to be seeing you tonight and Sunday night, and we'll be back. So everybody, go do good in the world and be excellent to each other. We'll see you later.